This is about 80 feet. Oh gosh. Some 4, 4, 4, 2. Oh gosh. No, it's okay. We're okay. Come on. This magnificent creation you see behind me, that's the YouTube yacht. It's a boat-themed rental project we're doing. I got a lot of random stuff I need to do on today. I need somebody to hold. Can you guys hold this for me? We're off to a real fancy start here. Would you stop it? It's fine. Everything's fine. Okay. We're starting with getting some secondary push through the conduit. Maybe pulled. I do have a string. Some spray foaming, some window flashing, some random excavation, some organization, all kinds of stuff. That reminds me, by the way, I was working with a guy at work, that tracks, and he said, hey, what's up with the boat? I think it's a good question. If you're new to the channel, we'll answer some of that as well. So meter basically will be on a pedestal out here. So we're running 4442, so we've got 2 hots and neutral on the ground coming back to this. I actually need this on that. That would probably make things a little easier for me. It's only an 80-foot run, so we may just try pushing it first. There we go. Oh yeah, that makes more sense. I got just the simple poly string there. And obviously that runs up right here. We just did the old shop vac on a string. That always works pretty well. If you've never done it, you just tie a shopping bag onto your string, and then you put a shop vac on this end and it sucks the bag through the pipe. Works fairly decent. And I'm just gonna take that string and we're just gonna pull this poly line back through. So it'll be a little bit easier for me to pull on. So we'll pull here. And we should be able to pull our rope up through there. We'll do this real fancy change of direction with the caulk gun here. Nice. How about that, huh? I feel like I could push this most of the way, but it's gonna be that last little turn up that I think I'm gonna want something to pull it. So we may just go back and forth, feed a little bit, pull a little bit, feed a little bit. A boat in the woods. Yeah, no, it's a little confusing. I get it. It's kind of out of place, but let me explain just a little bit. We live on the Ohio River. It's a little river town where we live, and there's several rental cabins where we're at, and it's a pretty decent market for it here. The Admiral and myself, we've been looking at getting into rental cabins whenever we retire from our primary careers, as just something to do whenever we're retiring, and also just a little bit of extra income as well. And if anything, it's an asset that we can sell if we ever need to. So we're just kind of starting the process of getting this stuff going. We've been working on this one for about 3 years out of pocket, and we finally decided to finance it. And I'll tell you what the time frame is for the finance and when we have to have this thing done by a little bit later on in the video. But the general gist of the thing is we're building a rental cabin. We don't own riverfront property like the other rental cabins do. So we got to build something that's a little different and stands out. And whenever people are scrolling through rental sites, they're like, now wait a minute, is that a boat in the middle of the woods? And we probably got like 6 extra feet on this end. The guy that was cutting it said, I gave you a bunch extra because I just didn't want you to be short. I mean, I measured extra whenever I ordered it, but I'm not going to tell him to put it back. Definitely got more than I paid for. And it's a super simple storage technique, so you always got everything together. The pool line, the poly line on the center, and then the bigger rope on the outside. Handy. So I only have a partial roll of the zip flashing left. I've got more coming, but we're just trying to use up what we have and get those odds and ends knocked out today. So let's go around and just use what we got left and go ahead and do the outer flashing on these windows. We'll go through, we'll do the sides first. I don't tape the bottom. Some people tape the bottom. Other people's don't. I'm a not tape the bottom kind of guy. I will go past it though. Probably not going to flash this window. So I had enough tape to go ahead and do all the windows, which is fantastic, and we got everything rolled like we're supposed to get it rolled. And I've still got enough tape left that we're just gonna go ahead and knock out the door real quick and then get everything up front here polished up and cleaned up and out of the way, because we may try to get that door installed later. The whole time frame on this, we've been building this thing out of pocket, and like I said, been working on it for about 3 or 4 years maybe, which is wild to think about, but we decided if we ever want to actually get this thing finished, we're just gonna have to finance it so we can get her finished out, and that's what we ended up doing. And they gave us 6 months, which started on the 1st of December. So we're moving along pretty decent progress-wise, but that 6-month deadline is gonna sneak up on us pretty quick. Now, does that mean that we have to be 100% rentable in 6 months? No, that's not necessarily the case. That may be closer to the fall. We just have to be to a point that whenever they come out in 6 months, they say, yep, that's good enough. We can get our money back out of that if we need to. We're gonna take the old sausage gun here. I got that zip liquid flash in here. I got a shim, and we're gonna go around. According to their system, we're supposed to do a little dab on every nail. So that'll be fun, you know? So I got everything I can reach smeared on, looks good, happy about that. I drilled these a couple weeks ago, but it was too cold for the working temp for concrete epoxy. So I'm gonna drill them back out just to clean them out again real quick, and we're gonna go ahead and get those anchored in. See it mixing in the spout they make? You can buy these extra spouts, so if you don't use the whole epoxy, it'll obviously set up and harden inside here, but you can buy these spouts extra so you don't have to buy the whole like $30 tube of epoxy if you only use a little bit. Just keep that in mind. Whenever I'm done, I just leave the spout on if I still have some left. I'll just save the tube. Now, technically, you're supposed to brush the hole out and then blow it out. But for what we're doing with this, which is essentially just keeping this thing from shifting left and right, 3 of these just pinned in the concrete like this will do the job. And when you see how we finish this section up here, it'll all make sense. You'll say, oh yeah, something of that variation. So those are pinned in place where they need to go. I'll give you a hint. We have 3 ICF forms left. One there, one winged back that way. That's what's happened at the end. And when we put those in place, then there'll be a little bit of a concrete pathway poured there, and that'll all be pinned in. Everything will be tied together. She'll be plenty strong for a walkway for a fake boat. With those anchors installed, there's no reason we can't go ahead and finish out those boards real quick. We still got our jig all set up from last time. We got our distance fixed on this end. It's definitely warming up. Everything's thawing out. The ground's starting to get sticky on us. I did a wintertime construction tip video on the Kleeman channel, or second channel. We don't post often, but we do post every now and then on there. And one person said, or just wait until the spring to build. Spring is the worst time to build. We've decided to make that part of this project. It is the worst time to build if you're doing something outside. Everything's thawing. Now, if you push like we have to get this stuff done on the outside so we can actually work up and off the ground in the springtime, that's not too bad. But if we'd have waited till the spring to do this, boy, if we would have waited to the spring to do this whole outdoor section we're working on now, yeah, no thank you. No thank you. think, I don't know if I want to rip this last one or just leave it off. And then when we do the sidewalk, we can put it on there so it's an even plank. Remember that driver's got a little felt tip on it. Kind of runs like a drywall screw does. It protects the board, but it's also the depth gauge because it comes with these plugs too. So that screw has to go a certain depth for those plugs to work. Let's get the board close because we'll trim it with the flush cut router as one of the final steps. Yeah, so I think what I'm gonna do, because we're building concrete out here for a pad and stuff, and I'll set that up, because right now I'd rip this down to about 1 inch, which would look kind of silly. We'll just set this up to whenever we do the concrete pad, we can set that on, make that transition one whole board. I think that'll look really good. As far as these plugs go, they do have grain to them. I thought they were kind of annoying because I kept popping each one out trying to place it. And then I realized that you can just smack it right through the plastic. You just get her lined up, give her a tap. She goes right where she needs to go. It's really not bad at all. Easy peasy. Would you just look at it? Just look at it. Nice thing about the PVCs, we'll be able to pressure wash all this off. We still got some holes back here we got to fill. They were full of ice when we were doing this the other day. These are all filled up with ice, and we'll get these finished up real quick before they get full of mud. So the next big thing is just a massive cleanup. All of this stuff needs to be put over there on pallets and organized. We got to get rid of some stuff that doesn't need to be here. The electric has to go from that pedestal down through that right away. There is another reason that I want to build this thing. Yeah, it's going to give us a little bit of income and an equitable asset. Never bad to have those around, especially for the kiddos one day. Whenever we're long gone from this world, they've got something they can either keep running, utilize for themselves, or sell it. Doesn't matter. It's something we can leave them and they can do what they want with it. You remember when you were younger and you were in school and your teacher would be like, hey, sit down, sit still, quit fidgeting, focus on what's going on right now. Well, I can't, never could focus on anything that didn't interest me. Just didn't have the ability, couldn't fake it. A lot of people can, good for you, that's cool, super excited for you. Don't have that ability. But what they don't tell you is that whenever you get older and you go get a career, there are hundreds of careers that you don't have to sit at a desk all day and do the same thing over and over and over again like you did in school. And I'm fortunate enough to find one of those careers that pays me pretty well, and I get to do some pretty awesome things that fit my mindset. I get to live outside the box because that's what my job requires of me, and it's something I truly love. But here's where the danger comes in. The ones like us that can't sit still, that are always thinking outside the box, that are always questioning the way things are done, because even though it's a tried and true method, we want to know if there's a better way to do it. And even if it's not a better way, we just want to know if there's a different way to do it. Just to know. Well, here we are, fully funded in the why not stage of life, building fake boats in the woods. Because I want to know if I can. I don't know how all this is going to work out, if I'm being honest with you. There are a lot of aspects of this build that I still kind of have to figure out, and I won't be able to figure out until I get to that point. But I am just why not in the heck out of it right now. And I'm loving it. I hope you guys are loving it. This is a build for people like us who don't settle for the boring in life, the people that want to do something different. So that is all picked up enough. I still got a couple things to rearrange, but you can see the stake for the pad mount. That's where everything was at. We're nice, neat, organized. It's supposed to rain tonight, so hopefully kind of wash some of that dirt and debris off there, but we now have our nice clear path right where we need to go. This whole area here just kind of looks like a bomb went off. It looks atrocious. We've got some random things going on, so we're going to get some more stuff picked up. But then the 304, and we're going to start shaping this up. We've already trucked 2 loads of dirt out of here. I'm trucking 3 loads of stone in tomorrow, I believe, and with that, in the triaxle, we'll probably truck 1 more load of dirt out. So I want to go ahead and get everything pulled up, shaped up, and in a pile so we can do that fairly easily. This will also be a good experiment to see how deep the frost is still. Oh man, looks like it's gonna be pretty deep. So we're gonna be handling a lot of the same material twice just because of where we're at and how this is gonna work out, but we gotta get this stuff out of here. Holy smokes. Okay, okay. So we're still, okay, yeah. We're still pretty frozen, aren't we? Wow. Now I almost put the smooth face on, but thought we better wait and see what we get into with this frost. Yeah. Not too bad. Oh, okay. Probably 6 inches or so. It's worth mentioning, I'm not trying to finish grade anything. We're just trying to get the material out of here so whenever it does come to finish grade, we don't have to fight this step. We'll try to, you know, a little bit of shape to it, but with the way the frost is, it's going to be a little tricky. Well, that makes me happy. It doesn't look like an absolute disaster anymore. We got her sitting up there. I can climb right on top of that pile and load out that truck either tomorrow or the day after. Just have to see what the weather does tomorrow. Pretty good chance of rain tonight. Next thing I want to do, because we got a little bit of light left, without stepping in this giant hole behind me, we're going to do something I've done a whole lot of and something I've never done. I've never used this product and I'm kind of excited. I just want to try it to see if it's going to work the way I think it's going to work. This I've done a lot of. Let me show what I'm using. So this is Great Stuff window and door spray foam. You got to have an applicator gun like this to use it. If you're doing a lot of spray foaming, instead of buying the shorter cans with the plastic lids that come with the little plastic straw that comes off there, it is cheaper. If you're going to do 12 cans or more, it's cheaper, faster, and easier to just spend the money on the application gun and a can of gun cleaner, this stuff's fantastic. I would say 2 of these cans is equal to 1 of those little cans. A little research could go a long way on that for you though. Pop the top, it's magical. It screws on the applicator. We're ready to go. They make different types of spray foam for different applications. Window and door spray foam. Window and door spray foam does not expand as much as some of the other spray foams. That way, whenever we spray foam around the edge of the window or the door, it doesn't push it in or get things out of adjustment. It's supposed to just fill the space and let itself come out of there without messing anything up. And I've honestly always had really good luck with it. So don't ever spray foam in any shirts or clothing you like, or get you one of those inexpensive Tyvek suits. If it's a big gap that the whole thing can fit in, fantastic. If not, they got tips for that. For those smaller gaps where you can't get the actual tip of the gun in there, they make these little tips that go on here. Now, I will warn you, it is very easy for these to just shoot right off the end of the thing if you pull the trigger wide open. You can adjust how much trigger pull you get with this adjustment screw on the back. I've always found it's better to dial it down just a little bit, but you see the idea. It's a smaller tip, smaller penetration area. So most spray foams you buy from the box store are open cell foam, and everything I used to spray when I worked for Mike and he had a spray foam trailer was open cell foam. Closed cell foam is also an option. Closed cell foam is what I want to use in here, not for all of the insulation. We're going to use some rock wool insulation too, but I have a lot of small stud cavities. You'll see what I'm talking about when you get in there. Plus just around the edges to help seal everything up. Slightly concerning because it comes with this handy packet of disposable gloves. I'm gonna try, you know, let's just make some sandwiches at Subway together, right? We're gonna try it out. It's got a couple different tip options here. Probably should have read the instructions on that. I don't know. Anyway, I've got 24 cans of this stuff. The hope is we can get a good closed cell foam layer on everything, just about 1 inch thick, and then we'll put the rock wool insulation on top of it. This, at this point of time right now, is just an experiment to see if this is gonna do what I want it to do. What am I supposed to do with that? What does that do for me? What kind of, look at the pattern. What am I supposed to do with that? Not exactly what I thought it would be. I mean, I think it'll work. The spots like this, there's just no way I'm getting any kind of insulation other than spray foam in that to do a good job. So. There we go. Experiment complete on that. I think it'll do what it needs to do. I don't know why it sprays like that. If it's like that so you can just hold it out and then hit each side of the stud cavity like that, you know? It's supposed to have one that's a fan pattern that just the whole cavity. I don't know, whatever. That's it. That's all I got. Check out the sunset, and that's pretty cool. It is Wednesday. This is for tomorrow, Thursday. I gotta get back to the house and get this edited. Can't thank you guys enough for watching. At least now you know a little bit of the why. And Forgot to tell you, the lift is here too. That's exciting. Parked it in a terrible spot. All right,